G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to DCS World with Mags, and welcome to Mission 2 of the Over the Hump campaign. Today's mission is a SEAD Escort, or Suppression of Enemy Air Defences. Our flight of the day will be a 3-ship of the Mk.II, and we will be escorting the Su-25T as our SEAD aircraft. So our target for today is the destruction of the radar station that is guiding the surface-to-air missile defences of the enemy runway on the far side of the Hump. The enemy's fighter defence will be a number of F-5 Tiger IIs spread throughout the combat zone, exact locations unknown. And our mission is pretty simple. We're to intercept the F-5s before they can get to the Su-25s and eliminate them, allowing the Su-25 to get in, complete their mission, and then we're to escort them back out and back home. So as we are the escort in the Mk.II, we depart first, and we're going to do a gentle lap around the runway while the Su-25s get themselves organised, and you can see them there taxiing out to the runway. On our approach to the Hump, we'll be staying pretty low and pretty close together until we fence in, at which point we will break away, grab some altitude and see whether or not we can draw the F-5s into an engagement with us, opening a window for the Su-25s to make their way through and complete their mission. So about 5 minutes in and the Su-25s have departed and have started approaching the waypoints. I am sitting behind the lead of the Su-25s at the moment, closing distance, and I'm going to have a little bit of a play with them before we actually make the mountains, just because, well, it's fun. So most of the core of this video is going to be uncut. You'll be able to see the entire thing with some minor external shots edited in. I'm not going to be talking the whole way through this video, however. As some of you have picked up, I've got a little bit of a thing with my throat at the moment. Kids have all got colds and it's passing a little bit my way. So I am going to only talk when I have to. So strap in and enjoy the ride. And there's the call for fence in. Fence is the dividing point between friendly and hostile territory, with the call for fence in being an alert to all pilots that are in the flight crossing the fence to double check or activate all of their aircraft systems for combat. Fence itself stands for Fire Control Systems, EMC, Navigation, Communications and Emitters. So at this point we are now in hostile territory, and I've pulled for altitude, so I'm sitting well above where the Su-25s are currently cutting through the valleys to make sure that any hostile aircraft in the area see me first. I want them to come at me, as it's much easier to isolate and eliminate enemy interceptors if they're not coming at the target that you're trying to defend. The green circle that's on screen at the moment is actually the head-mounted targeting system for the MiG-29's R-73 infrared guided missiles. This targeting system works by the pilot simply looking directly at the enemy and locking them. The advantage of this system over the standard radar guided system is that a pilot can achieve a lock against an aircraft that is not necessarily in front of his own aircraft. This kind of targeting system has been retrofit to a large number of Soviet aircraft, but was originally developed for usage in the MiG-29 and the Su-27. So with the lock achieved in the vertical, one missile away, unfortunately countermeasures caught it and no impact. Now while I still did have a lock achieved, the F5 was closing distance extremely fast and it was unlikely the missile would have been able to turn and actually take it out. Extremely high chance of missing, so I chose to hold fire, turn back on the target and follow. And at this point I could have released a second missile, but I decided to switch over to radar guided missiles and release one of those instead, as it was presenting just a perfect target for them. And at this point it appears I've taken out the first wave of hostile fighters, so I'm beginning my turn south to follow the Su-25s. They've broken through and are making their attack runs right now, and I just need to make sure that any additional fighters that are in the area are cleared so that they can get themselves back out. that is the Russian version of Bitching Betty. So I was getting hit by constant radar locks around this area. I actually had a sneaking suspicion at the time, judging from the fact that the threat warning display was giving me readings from the south. This was actually the SAM site surrounding the enemy runway. Now from this position I would be on the extreme outskirts of their range, and I'm still looking for fighters. I'm not overly concerned with the SAM sites at this point. And then mission completion comes in. The radar has been taken out, but I'm still being locked. And there he is, one stray fighter closing rapidly. And there he goes. So at this point, invert and pull back towards the ground. I'm looking to stick myself in at extremely low altitude amongst these hills just to make sure nobody else locks me up, because I cannot afford to really stay much longer and fight. For those of you who don't know the layout of the MiG-29's cockpit, if you look to the right-hand side of the dash, you'll find a long vertical cage with rounded edges that has a little bar inside of it that has been going down the entire way through this flight. That's the fuel gauge, and right now I'm not on vapors, but with over 100 kilometers to fly back to my runway, I'm about as low as I can let that fuel go and still actually have enough in the tank to make it home. Thankfully the flight back over the mountains was rather uneventful outside of one of the two Su-25s getting shot down on its way back over the top of the hump. The F5 that got the kill was taken out by one of my wingmen. Unfortunately, I wasn't close enough to be able to actually intercept it myself, or even to be able to see the combat. So at this point I'm just announcing that I'm coming in and getting clearance to land, and we'll put this girl on the ground. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. Apologies for not talking so much in this one. I would love to, but yeah, the joys of children. There is one last thing that I would like to bring up at the end of this video. For those of you who have been following the channel for a while will be aware of Maddendds. He is the artist that does all of the Boomer comics that you have seen at the start of some of these videos. You'll also note him as the person who's been designing characters for a number of other YouTubers at this point. He's actually rather unwell at the moment, has had to have a small stay in hospital. So if anybody would like to leave their best wishes in the comment section down below, or alternatively, if you check the video description, I will have a link to his YouTube channel where you can jump over there and tell him yourself. Please do. To everybody else, remember to click that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, fly smart, fly safe, and I will catch you in the skies. Всем, 1, 7. Разруливайте на стоянку.